Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. If you're new to my channel, I grow cut flowers in Zone 5A in Northwest Iowa. And today I am starting some Mother's Day prep. So today is Tuesday, May 2nd. You'll probably be seeing this video a few days after that. But next weekend is Mother's Day and I am really starting to prepare for the holiday. In fact, I'm opening up my Mother's Day orders today. And so I need to put together some sample products and photograph those. And I thought I would just take you guys along for that. But first, I need to go out in the garden and check my tulips because I think I have some more to harvest. So I'm going to go out there and do that, and then I'll show you what I have harvested so far and where I am storing those. And then we'll start putting together my sample bouquets, and I'll show you what I'm offering and how I'm pricing it and how I'm going to be marketing that. All right, so here's the bunch of tulips that I just harvested. Honestly, I thought there was going to be more than that, but that is a good thing. I harvested a whole bunch yesterday, and then I really watered everything in. I think it helps with the stem length of the tulips if you keep them really hydrated while they're growing out in the ground. And so I gave everything a really big drink of water last night. And so it also was really cold last night. It got down to like 32 here. And so that is okay because that's delaying the blooming. Because Mother's Day is not for another 10, 11 days. And so I want to make sure to basically have as much for Mother's Day as possible. So before I get these put away, I want to show you guys where I'm keeping all of my tulips. All right, so if you've been watching my videos, you have seen me back here before. This is actually my furnace room. This is the fridge that I use as a cooler, and I was hoping to have a floral cooler or something else bigger by the time tulip season rolled around, but you know how things go. We've been working on the hoop house and developing the area for growing space outside, and I just did not get to this. But this year, I am going to be having a room or something that is a dedicated floral cooler. So right now, all of my tulips are in here. Here they are. So I have tulips on a shelf here, some on a shelf here. I actually took some small seed trays and I put them here to kind of create another shelf so that I have another level here because I didn't want the weight of the tulips like smushing each other. And then on the bottom, these are all the tulips I harvested yesterday, and I gotta try and be a little creative with how I'm storing these. So these are gonna be stored upright, which is probably actually perfect, and this is just a regular 5-gallon bucket. So I think from here on out till Mother's Day, I'm gonna be storing all of my tulips upright in 5-gallon buckets so that I don't have to add any more weight to what I already have stored laying down. Now I do have some bouquets that I'm going to be making for this week. So some of these tulips will be used and all the daffodils that I currently have will be used. I have one really large bouquet to make today. I already have those tulips hydrating. So let me show you those. And actually some of those tulips I'm probably going to use as my mock-up for my wrapped bouquet for my Mother's Day ads. So let's head back out there and I'll show you what my Mother's Day plans are. Also, I should mention while I'm letting all of the cool air out, I keep one of these little Govee thermometers in this fridge, and this monitors the temperature and the humidity. So, well, right now it says 41 degrees, but that's because I have the door open. Usually it's closer to 38. And then the humidity is usually in the 80s, which is great. So I keep this right on this top shelf, and this is hooked to my phone, so I can look at my phone and I can see what the temperature and the humidity are here at any given time. I also have other little Govee units spread out so I can monitor everything on my phone. I have another one on this shelf here so I can monitor the temperature and the humidity of this room because I have a grow shelf in here. I also have one in the hoop house. I have one in my greenhouse, and Oh, I have one in another spot where I have some seedlings being stored, just so that I can monitor all the temperature and the humidity, especially this time of year when we're still getting down into the 30s. That way an alarm can go off if it gets too cold and I can tend to those. But anyway, let's go out and start prepping for Mother's Day. All right, so here are the items that I'm going to be using for my Mother's Day prep. My plan is to offer 2 different items that people can order. And I'm going to try and count up the tulips that I think that I'm going to have for next week, because then I'll know how many that I can sell. In addition to offering these 2 items for Mother's Day orders, I'm also going to an event next weekend where I'm setting up a booth and selling bouquets. So I'm hoping to have anywhere from 20 to maybe 30 bouquets at this event. It is about 20 minutes from here. It's called Jenny's Home Shed, and she is having craft classes. She also sells home decor. There's going to be a baker there with cookies and treats they're selling. There's going to be a food truck. So it's going to be a fun Mother's Day Saturday event. So I'm going to be there set up with bouquets. Like I said, hopefully 20 to 30 bouquets for that. That is Saturday. So the Mother's Day items that I'm going to be offering for sale, people are going to be able to pick up Friday or Saturday morning. So I need to today count all my tulips and figure out how many of these items I'm going to sell. So the 2 things that I'm going to be selling for Mother's Day are a standard wrapped bouquet. And all of this is going to be straight tulips. These daffodils actually are just out here for a large arrangement I have to make today. These tulips are also for that large arrangement, but I'm going to be using these as my photo for this wrapped bouquet. And then these I have set aside. These are a little shorter. These are going to be for the jarred arrangement. So the wrapped bouquet is going to be probably about 10 to 11 tulips. It's going to be $25. And for that, I have cut a 12 by 12 inch square, and I have folded it, and I'm just going to take 10 to 11 stems of tulips, put them in here, wrap it, and that's going to be my sample. Now the jarred arrangement I'm going to do is going to be in this globe vase. This is a 4 3/4 inch globe vase, I believe. I got this at Walmart. It was I can't remember how much it is. I'll put the link down in the description below. It was very economical. It is very comparable to what I would have ordered wholesale. So I went and purchased, I think, 10 or 12 of these vases yesterday, because that's probably how many I think I'm going to be offering. And this is what my jarred arrangement is going to be. And this is going to be priced at $40. So they'll have the $25 wrapped bouquet, or they'll have the $40 jarred arrangement. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together 2 of these samples. I'm going to show you how I photograph these, and then I'm going to make my social media ad putting out there that these are for sale. So yesterday I took these out of the fridge and I cut the bulb off, and then I wrapped them tightly in this paper and put them in the fridge overnight to rehydrate. And by wrapping them in the paper tightly, and when they rehydrate, it's going to keep this nice straight stem shape, and that's what you want. Oh, these look really good. See how those hydrated so nice and straight? Now, some of them that were open a little further, the petals look a little crinkled, but this is just going to be for a photograph, so it's okay. This one that has kind of a petal hanging, you know, I'd probably pull that off, and I don't know that I'd sell this. It actually doesn't look too bad. But yesterday when I put some of these in the fridge, if you've ever tried to rehydrate tulips, they were super floppy, and you know, you get that feeling, oh my gosh, are these actually going to look good? They're completely firm now. So this is going to be a great amount of tulips for this wrapped bouquet. Now, because I want to use the same tulips, let me dry off my table here. Because I want to use the same tulips for my arrangement, just because I'm staging this, I don't want to waste my tulips. I'm probably not going to cut the ends, and when I photograph the wrap bouquet, I'm probably just not going to get the end of it. Or, you know, I can try to find 10 that are the same length. But I do want to pick tulips for these that are open a little more, just so that people can see color in the photograph. So I'm going to pick 1, 2, 3, This one isn't open, but it's showing the color. When I actually arrange these, I will have a variety of some a little more open and some not so open, just so that their bouquet lasts longer. 4, 6. I'm trying to mix up the colors here. 11. Okay. So there are 11 double specialty tulips. Now, oops, I need a rubber band. Let me go grab one of those. So typically when I do $20 bouquets, it's usually 8 tulips, maybe 9. So I think 11 at $25 for this holiday is definitely going to be comfortable for me. Oh, I need a little piece of tape. Oh, I got one right here. All right, so I'm laying my bouquet down on top of the paper, and then I'm just gonna bring it together. Now, I will be using, hopefully if they come in time, 12 by 12 sleeves that are already pre-made, and I'm going to have the flowers sitting down inside the sleeve a little bit more just so they're protected. But for this photo, I want the flowers to show a little bit more, and so I'm gonna wrap it so that they're out of the paper. And I think the second one I'm gonna tape just around the back side to hold it nice and flat. And I'm getting water droplets off on this, but those will dry. There's just one on the top, and that'll dry by the time I take the photo. Okay, so that looks nice and full. And honestly, these are shorter tulips. This is not a very long bouquet. I specifically picked these to make this jarred arrangement. The tulips that I sell in the actual wrap bouquets for the $25, they're gonna be longer length. So this looks short, but it's just for the photo. So now I just need to look at it and see how I like it. I feel like there is a hole here because of all the leaves, and so I just wanna try to shift a couple of these around so that I don't have that hole. There we go. See, I just kind of moved a leaf and now I have a flower in the center. So I'm gonna go set this in the window light and we're gonna photograph this. All right, so this is the spot where I'm gonna photograph this bouquet. It is not in direct sunlight, it is in the shadow, but there's really nice light coming right in towards the flowers. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I've also been a professional photographer for 20 years, so I'm probably a little more picky about this than the normal person, but I want to also make sure that my backgrounds are cohesive between the two. So the wrap bouquet, I'm putting it on this simple box. This wood background will be the background. The jarred arrangement I'm probably going to photograph against my cream colored wall, which is a similar color to this wood. So when I put the two images side by side in my Mother's Day ad that I post, they're going to look cohesive and it's going to be eye-catching. So I have the flowers pointed towards the light, and I'm going to shoot it from the top, probably a little from this direction so I can see the bouquet downwards. I'm not going to get the end of the bouquet that is all different lengths. I don't want to show that, and for this it doesn't even matter. So I'm going to photograph this with the camera that I'm filming on, and I will put the finished image up on the screen that I'm going to use. Okay, so the wrapped bouquet is done, so I can go ahead and take this apart, and I'm going to reuse these flowers for my jarred arrangement. So I can go ahead and cut them if I need to now. So in my jarred arrangement, it's going to be priced at $40. I think I'm going to put maybe 15 to 18 tulips, depending on if they're larger or a little bit smaller. I want it to look nice and full, but yet I want to stay within my price point. So I think first I'm going to take some of them and just put them together in a bunch, cut it to the height and let them drape, and then I will put some in to fill those gaps. I don't know if that's the right way. I am not a trained florist, but that is how I'm going to do this. This also is me figuring out this flow so that when it comes to the day of the pickup, when I'm putting all these together, I can just get through them really fast. And I do want this to have a little height. So if you put the flower right next to the jar, that looks like pretty good height to me. I can always cut more off, I just can't add any. So I'm gonna take let's start with 8 tulips, and I'm going to cut them to be this height. And some of them have a little bit longer of a leaf. I can always get rid of those at this time too. I'm going to alternate colors. See, these are a little bit small. Like, I would consider this one tulip because these are a little bit smaller, but I like those pops of color for this size of arrangement. These are, I don't know if these are Columbus. These were in a bed where I had a bunch of mixed stuff that I planted at the end of the season and didn't really label. So I'm not quite sure what those are. Okay, I need another white in here. There we go. That is a really nice long one. Maybe I should save that for something else. Let's pop some yellow in here. Oh, that looks good. And see, I have 2 oranges next to each other. There. Okay, so this is going to be my start. So I'm going to cut these to be all about the same length. And let's just see what this looks like. Oh, see, that is a really good height. I like that. Now I'm just going to take the rest of my tulips and fill it in. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm only halfway there. So 9. Oops. 10. And hopefully by putting in the rest of these tulips, it's going to fill this so they don't move around. And if I have to put a few extra in, that's okay. Oop, that one's still a little bit long. I think I'm going to use all of these for this. I want it nice and full. Okay, where do I need a pink? Here. Oh yeah, this is filling in good. You want them so they're not really going to move around, so it travels well. Also, I need an orange over here. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yep. There. That is beautiful.
And my microphone died. So here I'm just talking about how I'm placing the tulips so they look nice and full to the side that I'm going to be photographing. I want them pretty even looking and colors alternating. And here I'm talking about where I'm photographing the tulips. I'm using my cream wall as a neutral background. I'm using the soft window light again, and I have it displayed up on 2 of the boxes that are the wood, the same one that I used to photograph the wrap bouquet. And here's the finished image of this arrangement. So now all that's left to do is to take those 2 images and put them together to make an ad that I'm going to be posting on my socials. So Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to be putting that out there today and saying that my Mother's Day orders are open. Now, based on the amount of tulips that I have harvested in the fridge and the amount of tulips that I think I will be harvesting out of the ground next week, I'm going to set a limit on how many of the arrangements that I can sell and how many of the wrapped bouquets I'm going to sell. Because remember, I still have to have a certain amount of flowers for that event that I'm going to be at next weekend. And I have to have a certain amount of flowers for at least 12 bouquets, if not 15, to take to a bakery to sell for Mother's Day. So all of those things have to come together, and I have to estimate how many tulips I think I'm going to have. The positive thing is that from here on out, the high temperatures are going to be in the 70s, almost 80, which is great because that's going to make my tulips explode. Last year it was so cold, all of my tulips bloomed after Mother's Day, which is such a disappointment. But this year I should have hundreds, which will be perfect. I'm hoping for 600 to 700. I have a couple more thousand out there to bloom. So if even half of them bloom, I'll be in good shape. But anyway, I'll make sure to do a video next week when I'm putting everything together so you guys can see how it all turned out, how many tulips I ended up harvesting, and what I'm taking where. So here is a picture of the finished ad. I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll see you soon.